GMB star slammed for mocking illegal migrant reports with ridiculous parody video. Good Morning Britain star Narinder Kaur has sparked fury as she mocked the videos showing the shocking scenes at migrant camps. Good Morning Britain star Narinder Kaur has sparked fury as she mocked Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp and Shadow Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick in a parody video about migrants. It comes after Chris Philp traveled to a Calais migrant camp and told news outlets he had been threatened with a machete and had glass thrown at him. Wearing shorts, boots, and speaking into a pink hairbrush, Narinder posted a video on X as she said, "Guys, I am in northern London, and I have seen many natives here in London, 50 or 60 going past and having coffees and having a nice time, and not one policeman was here. I was talking to them, and not one of them had a visa. They've got no right to be in this country, and one approached me with a machete. I don't have video evidence, but I promise he did. And now they're throwing bottles at me, oh my God. They're attacking me, oh my God." As someone behind the camera threw bottles of water at her as she pretended to run away, begging for someone to rescue her. She added, "I'm taking the absolute pasteriscus out of the ridiculous non-story live videos desperate emps are making." The video has sparked backlash from her followers on X, as one said, "Nice one, I've never seen something so unfunny in my entire life." Another added, "Doing a little skit for interactions and baiting people into a race debate/argument. Well, all day you've been claiming racism." A third chimed in, "Do you realize how ridiculous you sound? And acting." A fourth swiped, "This is the exact reason no one wants you especially strictly." About as much class as a second-class stamp. Definitely unhinged. Narinder's latest video comes after she said the BBC could kiss my *** after Thomas Skinner was signed up for the 2025 series of Strictly. She said in a video, "I am so raging right now with the BBC. I'm so over the BBC. You've just apologized to Robert Jenrick, and you've just taken on Thomas Skinner for Strictly Come Dancing. Now I'll tell you my problem here, and you're going to say, oh, she's so bitter. You can do that all day long. I'm okay with that. Strictly Come Dancing won't take me on. We approached them, and I was told by a producer, you're a bit too controversial. We don't need that for the show. I accept that." And they put on brown and black women on every single time who are quiet, who don't have opinions, because that's the kind of brown women they accept. That's what their audience likes. But God forbid you're a brown woman who has some opinions, then they'll never take you on. But if you're a white man, Thomas Skinner, proud patriot of the online right, who's got a criminal past, charged with theft, you're all right. The set of Good Morning Britain, GMB, has long been a stage for fiery debates, controversial hot takes, and unfiltered exchanges between its panelists. But this week, one of the show's most recognizable stars found themselves at the center of a storm after mocking reports on illegal migrants in a way that viewers and critics alike described as tone-deaf and deeply insensitive. The backlash was swift, and as social media flooded with clips, commentary, and furious hashtags, it became clear that the star's attempt at levity had gone terribly wrong. The spark that lit the fire. It began during a discussion on the morning broadcast about the ongoing crisis of small votes crossing the English Channel. The program had dedicated a segment to the latest Home Office figures, reporting a sharp increase in the number of migrants making the perilous journey. The panel included voices representing multiple perspectives, one advocating stricter border controls, another highlighting the human rights concerns, and a government spokesperson appearing via video link. But instead of a respectful exchange of views, the controversy erupted when the GMB star made what they seemed to think was a light-hearted quip. Leaning back in their chair, smirking slightly, the host remarked, Well, maybe we should just hand out loyalty cards. Cross the channel 5 times, and you get a free coffee on arrival. The line was followed by a laugh, but the silence from the other panelists was deafening. Even the studio audience, usually quick to chuckle at banter, sat frozen. The conversation stumbled forward, but the damage was already done. Within minutes, clips of the remark were circulating online, sparking outrage. Social media erupts. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok became battlegrounds. The hashtags #GMBinsensitive and #NotifFunnyMatter began trending. One user wrote, "There's nothing funny about families risking their lives to flee war and persecution. Making jokes about free coffee cards is disgusting." Another added, "How low can morning TV go? Mocking desperate people is not." Advocacy groups for refugees and migrants had issued statements condemning the remark. A spokesperson for one organization declared, "This type of rhetoric normalizes cruelty. When public figures trivialize human suffering, it chips away at compassion in society." A divided audience. As is often the case in the polarized world of British television, not everyone agreed. A section of viewers defended the GMB star, insisting the comment was harmless humor and accusing critics of being overly sensitive. Some even suggested the backlash was part of cancel culture, with one supporter tweeting, "So now you can't even make a joke without being crucified. The world's gone mad." This division only added fuel to the fire, with debates raging in comment sections, pub conversations, and radio call-ins. The apology that raised eyebrows. Sensing the controversy spiraling out of control, the GMB star took to X, formerly Twitter, later that day with a statement. It read, "To those offended by my comments this morning, I apologize. My intention was never to belittle the plight of migrants, but to highlight the absurdity of the situation with satire. I regret that my words missed the mark." But the apology fell flat with many critics. The phrase "to those offended" was widely criticized as a classic non-apology, shifting responsibility onto the audience rather than acknowledging the harm caused. One viewer replied, "If you regret it, say so clearly. Don't put the blame on us for being offended." Meanwhile, some supporters praised the host for standing their ground while still showing grace. ATV under pressure. Behind the scenes, ITV executives were said to be scrambling. The network, already navigating a turbulent few months, with controversies around other high-profile presenters, was under immense pressure to take action. Reports suggested that senior producers held emergency meetings, debating whether to issue a formal statement or let the storm pass. Advertisers had begun reaching out, wary of their brands being associated with the outrage. An insider leaked to the press, "This is the last thing ITV needed." The network wants to be seen as balanced, compassionate, and professional. Jokes at the expense of vulnerable people undermine that image. Colleagues weigh in. Interestingly, the star's fellow GMB presenters appeared divided as well. One co-host subtly distanced themselves during the following morning show, pointedly stating, "We all need to remember that these stories involve real lives, real risks, and real tragedies. They're not punchlines." Another presenter, however, hinted that people should lighten up and that banter has always been part of British culture. This internal rift only deepened public fascination as viewers speculated about behind-the-scenes tensions among the cast. The bigger conversation. Beyond the immediate backlash, the incident sparked a broader national conversation about the role of humor in political discourse, especially when lives are at stake. Should presenters be free to use satire when discussing issues like migration? Or does that cross a moral line? Is the outrage genuine concern for compassion? Or is it part of an increasingly polarized climate where every word is scrutinized? Academic experts weighed in, with one media professor noting, "The challenge with satire is context. When it punches up, mocking power structures, it can be a powerful tool. But when it appears to punch down, targeting vulnerable groups, it risks reinforcing harmful stereotypes." What's next for the star? As of now, the future of the embattled GMB star hangs in the balance. Calls for their resignation grow louder each day, but they also retain a loyal base of supporters who argue that silencing them would be a dangerous step toward censorship. The star themselves has remained quiet since the initial apology, reportedly advised by lawyers and PR experts to stay out of the spotlight until the uproar dies down. Yet whispers suggest ITV executives may force a temporary break from the show, presenting it as a cooling-off period rather than an outright dismissal. A lesson in boundaries. Regardless of the eventual outcome, the saga has become a cautionary tale about the fine line between wit and cruelty, especially in an age when every word is instantly recorded, replayed, and dissected by millions.